What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Dondria, and I am off script with RoJay.
I'm ready.
Welcome to Off Script with RoJay, where there's no script, just real ones. And I'm here with my girl, Dondria. What's going on?
Dondria. I'm good.
Normally, I'm trying to be like presentable for the camera, but we're real relaxed today.
Yes.
So y'all just gonna have to forgive me today,
Yeah.
but it's all too
And
good.
I just woke up from a nap, so
we good. We real deal good.
Yeah.
We have to talk about the journey for one,
Mm-hmm.
because it's been a long journey, and we've kind of watched the journey. And there was a time you did go off the map.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there were people kind of wondering where you went, but it was
Yeah.
really giving yourself time to grow into a person. Because you started out super young, right? How old
Yeah,
were you when you
I
started?
was 19 when I got discovered, 20 once everything started popping off. Yeah.
Okay, so by the time you get to 19, I would like to say we think we have it all figured out.
Child.
Did you really have time to kind of even figure out your identity before you took off?
No, I don't even, I had nothing, no idea of anything, of my purpose, of my dreams. I mean, music was kind of a thing, but before I got on YouTube, I had never had a studio session. So I was like really like ground zero,
Right.
you know.
So you was green in a sense that they took you and decided what you were going to be to the public.
Yep.
How did that affect you when you realized that you didn't have time to become who you were supposed to be yet?
I think it affected me in a lot of ways. I mean, I will say that the hard truths that I discovered didn't come until later. So I actually had a pretty pleasant, flow and run with So Def and JD. I'm happy about that my entry into the industry
Right.
was pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started like getting new management, and I think that's when I started getting affected by, well, not even, I mean, is affected the word? Yes, I guess so. Being affected by other people's, intentions, expectations, their vision for my life and for
Right.
my career. So it took me down bad.
Right.
I definitely suffered from depression. Cause you're just questioning like, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Like, what is life? Like
Right.
that's, to have no idea what you're here to do, it actually is a really scary place. So yeah, it was tough.
Okay. We're just now getting to the part of life for the public
Mm-hmm.
where we're talking about therapy
Yeah.
and acknowledging depression
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. By you acknowledging the fact that you went through depression, does that help your continued healing, or does it kind of like make the old wounds surface and kind of bring like bad memories?
No. I think that, in order to find a light, you got to be in the dark.
Okay.
So to me, it's more empowering than anything, to say, yes, I suffer from, I like to say function, because I still had to get up and
Okay.
do things. I didn't get to, most of us still have to get up and live life.
Right.
Even though we're dealing with things on the inside. So I was functioning with depression. Yes, I was functioning with anxiety, but I can call it out. It happens. I wrote poetry about it, released the book. The book is
Right.
healing people. I'm writing music about it. The music is empowering people and
Yes.
inspiring people. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I will tell my story.
Okay, we love that. Now, part of your story, because sometimes we don't know if it was good or bad. And I like to think, just from what you just said, that you said you had a decent experience or a good experience with So Def. I know with the younger artists, it appears that JD is a little protective of the younger artists. You're saying it was more so the people from the label or from outside of him that kind of disrupted the growth, in a sense?
I would say, because Dondria and So Def dissolved at one point.
Okay.
So now I'm figuring that out on my own.
Gotcha.
And that's when, I started, just other people in my team,
Gotcha.
like they started to project
Yes.
and, essentially turned me into the who they thought I should be. And that's when everything started being like, what the hell?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta ask this. We know you. Everybody loves You're the One, right? And sometimes it gets to the point like I'm sure I can name artists, but I'm not gonna do that. But usually when people project or push out the term one hit wonder or whatever, and you're still making music, you're still dropping albums and EPs, but they act like you just disappeared, and it's like the music is right there.
All you gotta do is
press play.
Yeah.
And you're still like, well, she did nothing after the song. I got 5, 6 albums, a new EP.
Yeah.
Do moments like that frustrate you more than motivate you to kick down the door even harder?
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't get frustrated because it's just like they just don't know. You just gotta let them know they don't know. Now you let them know.
Now you know. You can't be ignorant.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't get frustrated because I also understand. You know, when most people were introduced to me, I was on a major label. I had a major backing. I had all everything. I was on tour with Trey Songz and Monica on 106 in Park. You know, they saw me and they heard me for sure, you know? Being independent, you don't always have access to those same levels of visibility. Yeah. So, you know, I get it. You know, for some people, I did, you know, drop off and they never saw me again. So I don't get frustrated. But I'm just flowing. You know, I don't necessarily feel like this push to prove anybody wrong either. Yeah. I'm just in my space, in my flow.
And if you find me, you find me.
Yeah, you'll catch on.
You catch up.
Yeah.
I got that. Yeah. Now, I don't know, I was doing like my little research when I was making your graphic for the show. And I remember the Tell of Hearts, but I forgot about the Tell of Hearts. I was like, wait a minute. I know about this, right?
Yeah.
Your Back to Love album felt like a more intentional album. Where the other projects, for the sake of saying I'm still making music, or did they have intention behind it as well?
I mean, I would say that everything always had intention. I just feel like I'm evolving more, you know, so the way that I express myself is evolving and it is it's more authentic, you know, it's more true to me because as I'm like peeling the layers, it's, you know, it's reflecting through the music. But I would say that I've always been, you know, intentional, just whatever space I'm in at that time. That's you know where I'm going with it. Yeah.
Okay. And I do like this era of I just feel the piece. I can see it and I feel it. A lot of us, it takes us time. Like they always say, when you turn 30, there's a light that hits. When you turn 40, there's when you turn 50, there's as you get older. That's why when you meet the grandparents and the old OGs, they don't give a good damn about what's happening. They're going to say what they want or whatever. What clicked for you? Or when did it click for you where you decided, you know what, this is me, this is where I am, and you're just going to have to get with the program? Like, where were you or what part of your journey were you at when that clicked?
Where was I? I guess it was probably trial and error. You know, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, just in general conversation, but like, you know, you get those nudges and it's like you either listen to them or you don't. And every time I listen to them, to me, it felt like I went one step further. Yes. And then when I didn't listen, I either stayed where I was or I took a step back. And then when I did listen, I took another step further. So it's like, okay, when I do this, things tend to work out. Right. You know, so it was more of like me learning to trust that. And then of course, you know, consistency and intention, like that builds your confidence. So the more you, for lack of better words, make the right decision or the aligned decision, the more things start to make sense. And then after a while, it's just like, okay, this is my path. This is what that don't feel like it aligns with, you know? So I really base my decisions off of that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Journaling, we talked about that. We talked about therapy, we talked about that. And that's almost equal to the writing for albums and diving into the music, right? I want to know, have you ever journaled something that you felt was just too deep to turn into music?
Yeah. Actually, working on this current album, and I was telling you yesterday, like, I don't know when it's going to be done because I know I got some more to say.
Right.
And when I know I'm done, that's when the album will be done. And so I was reflecting one day in my journal and just thinking about, okay, like, what are these other topics? What are the other topics that I even want to talk about? So I just started writing down just like moments in my life, you know, that I maybe never talked about, or that might be a little too, you know, sensitive, maybe even stuff I'm still healing from.
Yeah.
To just see if I'm ready to put it in a song.
Gotcha.
And we'll see. I don't know.
We just gotta see.
I don't know.
I'm loving this Back to Love era, I will say. I still play the EP religiously, and not only when you're coming to the Rocket City to hang out with me, like I real deal, like I feel different listening to it.
Thank you.
I know it's hard for some artists to listen to their work or watch their work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have a moment where you just like, you listen and you kind of cringe, or you like, I did that shit?
Yeah, I feel like it's more like I did that. I mean, I definitely don't cringe. That's what I don't do.
Okay.
But, you know, because I've listened to it so much, you know, throughout the creation process, mixing and mastering, to y'all finally being able to hear it, I may just be like, okay, next, you know, just because to me, I've let's just say I've heard it every day for the last year, you know, so it's like, okay, you know, but I don't cringe at all. And I think it feels better once you do start performing it and once the people do start hearing it, because now y'all can sing it together and you hear it from a listener's perspective versus from the artist who wrote the song.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into what I call the old real deal off the script, you brought up Perspective, which was the name of your EP. That was a totally different look for you.
Yeah.
Which is usually when ladies cut their hair. Mm-hmm. It's a rebirth taking place.
Yep.
Was that around the time of the self-evolution? Like, I'm intentionally going to evolve from this point on. Was that like that moment?
Yes, it was. It was. And the reason I called it Perspective is because my perspective was starting to change.
Okay.
And so my perspective on life, on my career, on love, like everything was starting to look, I was seeing it from a different vantage point.
Yes.
And it was making a different type of sense, you know? And so I started to figure out what I wanted from my life and, you know, what kind of friends, relationships I wanted, what kind of love I wanted. So that's why, you know, one of the songs is Lose Myself, because in real time, I was navigating these relationships that I had been in for many years that were no longer in alignment. And I had to really accept the fact that if I wanted to keep growing and keep going on the path that I'm going, I'm gonna have to let these people go. I can't lose myself trying to not lose you.
Yeah.
So it was real life transformation happening with that EP. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's time to go off the script for real. So I'm gonna give you some either ors.
Okay.
And then we're gonna see whatever the first thought or whatever the choice is for you. Feel free to share it. If there's a story behind it, you can do that as well.
Okay.
So we know you got married here recently or whatever.
Yes.
Nature walks with your husband, like on a mountain, or like the slow walks on the beach.
Nature walks.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I feel y'all are active.
Oh yeah. We love hiking, walking the belt line. We like the beach too, but we do a lot more active stuff together.
Okay. Guilty pleasure, extra desserts or a nice long nap?
Nice long nap. Yes.
You sound like me. I'm going to sleep whenever I can.
Oh, yes.
Seriously. Cable or streaming services?
I mean, I guess streaming services, because that's just, you know, what it is now. I mean, I like the fact that you can have access to... No, I'm going with cable.
Okay.
Because with cable, you didn't have to have 5, 6, 7, 8 different subscriptions. You had your one monthly payment.
It's overwhelming to me. Like, trying to figure out what to even watch. And you got all this, and I just turn on the TV, and I just roll off. Like, it's serious.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Stage or studio?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, okay, stage is more fulfilling.
Okay.
Stage is more fulfilling because what you create in a studio, now the people get to hear it and they singing along with you, and it's like we sharing together.
Right.
What started here, now we singing it together. So I'm gonna say stage.
Okay, I feel that. Well, listen, I always enjoy talking to you.
Yeah.
I love your outlook on things. I
Thank
love
you.
learning new things about you. You know it. I just enjoy you, period. So
Thank
I always
you.
appreciate you coming through the Rock City, hanging out with me, trusting me to curate these shows with you involved.
Listen, it's always a pleasure to be here. Like I said, I feel at home when I come to Huntsville. What's the city?
Rocket City.
The Rocket City.
Rocket City.
Yeah, I feel at home, and I'm always come back. We locked in, twin.
We here. We on this thing. All right, guys. You're tuned in to Off Script with RoJay, and we got another one coming up soon. So keep it locked. All right, let's go.